Hello everyone, it is Miss Kepley here, and today we're going to be talking about complex sentences. So hopefully you've already done lessons on simple sentences and compound sentences, and we're going to amp it up a little bit more with this complex sentence structure. So first we're going to take note of the important vocabulary terms you need to know in order to understand what makes a sentence complex and how to identify its parts. So what is a complex sentence? Sounds challenging, right? It's really not that challenging. Don't worry. It's a sentence that has one independent clause, which we've already talked about with simple sentences and compound sentences, but we have something new here. It also has one dependent clause. So let's break this down. Let's review here. Independent clause. It's just a clause is a fancy way to say a group of words, and it contains a subject and a predicate, and it forms a complete thought. A simple sentence is an example of an independent clause. So subordinating conjunction, that's one of the new words that we're going to be talking about with complex sentences. A subordinating conjunction is a special set of words that makes a clause unable to stand alone. They turn a complete sentence into an incomplete one. That's a little rude, right? They have some power there. They can take that complete sentence and make it incomplete. So the clause is now a dependent clause. So when we put a subordinating conjunction on an independent clause, now we have a dependent clause. So unlike fanboys or those coordinating conjunctions where we only had a select group of them, subordinating conjunctions, there's a whole bunch of those. But we can remember them by using the phrase a white bus. A stands for after, although, as. So again, this is a way to remember the words that are subordinating conjunctions. White. We have WH, I put those together, so that helps you remember when, whenever, while, whereas. I stands for if, in case, in order that. T, though. E is even though and even if. B stands for because or before. U, unless, until. And S is since and so that. You might recognize that so is also a coordinating conjunction, one of the fanboys, but it has to be together, so that, in order to be a subordinating conjunction. Now, there are more subordinating conjunctions, but these are the most common ones that we see in sentences. As we mentioned earlier, a subordinating conjunction has a special superpower. It's able to take an independent clause and turn it into something that's dependent. So let's look at an example of this. We have this sentence, this independent clause. Peter ran out of the lunchroom. So we know it's an independent clause because it has our predicate, it has a subject, one complete thought. So this is an independent clause. Now, when we add a subordinating conjunction, so I'm going to add when to the beginning of this. So when Peter ran out of the lunchroom, we now have something called a dependent clause because we want more information. When Peter ran out of the lunchroom, don't you want to know what happened to Peter when he ran out of the lunchroom? I sure do. So we need more information, so it's dependent on more. Therefore, this is a dependent clause. Let's look at another example. I forgot to charge my phone. So, is this an independent clause? Let's look. It has a predicate. It has a subject. Great. So we know this is an independent clause. But when we add a subordinating conjunction like since I forgot to charge my phone, now we have a dependent clause because we want that information. Since I forgot to charge my phone, what happened? Could you not get a text from that special someone that you were waiting on? I don't know. Did you miss like your mom's instructions on what to do after school, and now you're like, how do I get home? These are things we need more information, so therefore it's dependent. A dependent clause is not a complete sentence. You just can't leave it there. It needs a friend, the independent clause. So here's an example. Because I forgot my charger. This is not a complete sentence. It needs more information for the reader to understand. And that's where we transition into complex sentences. So how do we make a complex sentence? We combine one of those dependent clauses that we just talked about with an independent clause. So option 1, we can put the dependent clause at the beginning of the sentence. So here's an example. Although I set 3 alarms, I still overslept. We know this is a dependent clause because it has this subordinating conjunction right here, although. And then that although I set 3 alarms, that's our dependent clause. I still overslept. That's our independent clause, subject, predicate. So now, friends, what we have is a complex sentence, a dependent clause plus an independent clause. Let's look at another one. Option 2 here is to put the independent clause at the beginning of the sentence. So remember, a complex sentence is a dependent clause and an independent clause together. It doesn't really matter what order they can go in. So the independent clause can go first also. So for example, I still overslept although I set 3 alarms. So we still have the dependent clause here, although I set 3 alarms, because we know it's a dependent clause because it has the subordinating conjunction in it. And then we have our independent clause here. I still overslept. What about the comma? I don't know if you noticed, one of them had a comma and one of them didn't. Let's look back at it. This one, when the dependent clause was first, we had a comma. This one, when the dependent clause was second and the independent clause was first, no comma. I'm sure you're pretty smart and you already know the comma rule, but let me spell it out for you. When the dependent clause is at the beginning of the sentence, you do need a comma after it. And when the independent clause is at the beginning of the sentence, you do not need a comma. The comma only goes if the dependent clause. I caution you. There's a difference between coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions, those are those fanboys. They join 2 independent clauses together. They make compound sentences. So a compound sentence is an independent clause plus an independent clause. A subordinating conjunction makes a clause dependent. So that makes complex sentences, which is an independent clause plus a dependent clause. That's what we learned today. So let's look at these examples right here. Because the algorithm knows me too well, my entire feed is just cats knocking things off tables. If it was me, the first thing I would do is look for a subordinating conjunction. So when I read this through, I notice a subordinating conjunction because. And we have because the algorithm knows me too well, subordinating conjunction, so that's a dependent clause. My entire feed is just cats knocking things off tables. That's an independent clause. We also have our little comma here. So that makes this a complex sentence. Let's look at this one. I wanted the chicken sandwich, but they ran out right before my turn. Darn it. Let's look. Do we have a subordinating conjunction? No, but what we do have is this fanboy, this coordinating conjunction. This coordinating conjunction is joining 2 sentences together. So that makes it a compound sentence. All right, let's look at this one. The vending machine took my dollar and it gave me nothing in return. So first thing we look for is a subordinating conjunction. Do we have one? I don't think so, but what we do have is this fanboy, this coordinating conjunction. So then we have to say, is it joining 2 sentences together? It looks like it is, so therefore this sentence is compound. All right, let's look at this last one. Everyone stopped using that sound when the teacher started using it. So we have to ask ourselves, is there a subordinating conjunction? Yes, right here, when. So that makes it a subordinating conjunction. So that is a subordinating conjunction. When the teacher started using it, that's the dependent clause. Then we have our independent clause up here. So that makes this sentence complex. All right, that is it. That is everything that you need to know about how to write a complex sentence. If you're a middle school language arts teacher and you would like to do this lesson with your students, you have 2 options. Option number 1 is Teachers Pay Teachers. So you can get this lesson with some built-in practice activities, 20-question practice worksheet, and a 20-question quiz. If you would like the complete system plus everything else that you would need for your middle school language arts classroom, I encourage you to check out ELA Unlimited. It's where you have unlimited access to middle school language arts resources like this one, that you can download with no limits on downloads.